That's you and me who are working in direct contact with food, which we do today. We did that. We made sandwiches, those of you who were there. And you come in contact with direct food surfaces or food packaging materials, have to abide by the hygiene practices. Now, this is really easy, guys. We ask you when you come into the room, every single time you come into the packing room, you go right to the hand washing station and you thoroughly wash your hands. And you do that to protect the food that you're going to be touching. Even though you're going to have gloves on, you're doing it to protect from microorganisms and bacteria that might infect that food. So your hands have to be washed. If you leave the room for lunch and you come back in, we rewash your hands. If you leave the room to use the restroom facilities, you come back in, you wash your hands. If you leave the room because I've sent you on an errand to find some missing person or missing product, when you come back into the room, you wash your hands, okay? You get that. So no matter where you've been, when you walk into the room, the first thing you do is wash your hands. You know that there is hand sanitizer in the red buckets that we use to wash the areas that we've worked in. And we're not to use anything, not regular soap or water. We're always to use the hand sanitizing water and the sanitized water in the buckets to clean all food surfaces. Personal cleanliness has to be adequately maintained. That means you just need to take a shower before you come. Now, I'm sure they allow you to shower here. We have this problem, unfortunately, with some of our regular employees. You must shower and maintain personal hygiene. The use of tobacco, this is not your issue because you're not allowed to have tobacco, but the use of tobacco or tobacco-related products is prohibited within 50 feet of the building. Okay, there's no smoking inside the building at all, but outside of the building you must be 50 feet away from any entrance in a designated area. Consumption of food or drink, you notice I'm looking at JD. Consumption of food or drink while on the packaging floor is strictly and always prohibited. Which, guys, you're not allowed anything in your mouth. When you enter those red doors, there's nothing in your mouth. Not lifesavers, not toothpicks, not little clips you like to chew on. There's nothing. We're not allowed to have anything in our mouth, especially food or drink. If you are sick, if you have a fever, a bad cold, you must immediately notify me as your supervisor. Now, I would prefer if you get sick there. If you're really, really sick, you need to notify someone here because you are working with food. And we don't need you sneezing all over the product. So, or if you have a fever, you could infect the people around you. So we have to be immediately notified. If you have a wound, all exposed wounds, if you've got a cut or a rash, it has to be adequately covered in order for you to work. So if you cut yourself there, we've got a first aid kit there. You know, I've bandaged some of you up before. We'll give you antibiotic cream. But all wounds and rashes have to be adequately covered. Garments, here we go. This is the thing that's changed, and some of you hate it. Some of you haven't been here yet. But garments, suitable garments must be worn. And now, we've provided them for you. So when you come to Valley Foods now, our regular employees are in their white uniforms. You guys get navy blue scrubs. You get a scrub jacket with pockets that are below the waist and a pair of orderly pants. You must put those on over your outside garments. So here's the deal. The plus side of that is in the summer when it's hot, I don't care if you wear shorts because we can no longer see them. I can't see any of your clothes. The only thing you cannot wear is a hoodie because I cannot have a hood on top of that garment. They're dark blue. We can't tell what you have on under there. So whatever you decide to come in is fine with us because you're going to be putting on that lab coat and that orderly uniform, which you will remain in all day until you leave. And then when you guys leave out by the door, you'll just strip them off and you get a clean set every day. So every time you come, you're just going to grab one off the rack and you are going to be covered. No items, guys, can be placed in pockets that are above the waist. Some of you, we are still buying more uniforms. If you have pockets in your shirt or something, you can't place any item in there, okay? Here's the other thing you cannot do that some of us have been doing. You cannot use chapstick on the packing floor. Some people are addicted to chapstick and they constantly have it out and they're doing that. You can no longer do that in the packing room. If you need to use chapstick, do it on your lunch break or your bathroom break, but you cannot apply chapstick while you're in the packing room. Hairnets. Part of your uniform is a hairnet. Some of you are so excited to get there that you run through those red doors without your hairnets. And hairnets are right outside the door. When you come in, you all know where they are. You must wear a hairnet if you are not clean shaven. If you've got facial hair, you also have to wear that nice little beard guard. And I know that they're not pleasant, so if you don't want to wear that, shave that day. So you have to do that. If you are working in a low-risk area, which is the retort packing room, because there is never any exposed food there. So the low-risk packing room does not require you to wear the orderly uniform or the hairnet. Now, here's the problem. If you come in shorts, because shorts are not allowed, if you come in shorts, regardless of which room you're going to be in, you are going to have to put the orderly uniform on. Shoes. No fancy dress shoes, because our floors are slippery. Every shoe, I don't care whether it's a tennis shoe or a boot, they have to be closed-toed. Obviously, there are no sandals allowed, and they must have a rubber bottom so that you don't slip and fall. Gloves. You know that if we're working with, it's not really raw food, it's what we call processed food already, but if you're working with lunch meat and or cheeses in my room, you must wear gloves. Here's the flip side to this. You cannot wear gloves if you are working with the boxes. And here's why. When the inspector walks into the room, she needs to be able to see, or he, who is handling the uncovered food. Okay, so you cannot, some of you guys are like, but I cut my fingers on the boxes, and I'm very sorry about that. But you cannot wear them unless you're touching food, okay? Unopened food, because that's one of the clues that the inspector immediately sees as she walks in the room and there are multiple things going on. She knows which people are handling food items because they will have gloves on. No jewelry. See, that's the other thing, you've never seen me in jewelry, because other than a wedding band, one band with no stones, nothing in it, you are not allowed to wear any jewelry at Valley Foods. No necklaces, no earrings, no bracelets, nothing. No watches. A lot of you forget to take your watches off. All of that has to be removed once you have walked inside the red doors, whether it's in Gary's packing retort room or whether it's in mine, okay? So there's no jewelry allowed, none of your plastic bracelets. And a lot of people say, well, Paulette, it's no big deal. It's just, it's my wristband. I never like to take it off. I'm very sorry about that. I love jewelry too, but you have to take it off in our room. So I've covered all of that. If you have a medical condition for which you must wear a medical bracelet or necklace, you are to notify me, and that is allowed. Okay, so we're obviously, if you're asthmatic or you're allergic to penicillin or you have something like that that is considered life-threatening, if I would give you penicillin, if you would pass out or whatever. I wouldn't give you penicillin if you passed out, but if we thought you were sick and we sent you to the hospital and you didn't have that on and they would treat you with something, that could come back on us. So medical bracelets and necklaces are allowed. You just need to notify the supervisor that you have them. No personal belongings and no food items are ever to be brought into the packing rooms. Now, I know that Teen Challenge, you guys pack your lunches and you bring them and we leave you space in the cooler for that. It's never to be brought into our packing areas.